What's going on, guys? Welcome to an unscheduled afternoon live session. Testing a couple things right now. I'm actually trying to stream to Twitter as well. If you guys know what I had going on earlier, I missed my morning session. Let you guys know what was up yesterday. I had an MRI. Not super fun. Not super fun that I had to go and get that done, but I want to test this afternoon session and see what we got going on. So read the disclaimer. I'm gonna look for some trades. I got no trades in my main live trading accounts, the top one futures accounts. But first, while I'm hanging out on here, I want to see what's up on YouTube. Well, what's up, guys? How we doing this afternoon? How are we doing this afternoon? Does it show that I'm live? I think I'm live. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out. No, I'm not gonna do that. Cool. Cool. So anyway, here it's on the screen. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably gonna lose all your money. Don't do that. It's a silly thing to do. I am not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing you see or hear from me is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube and now maybe Twitter for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, including the one that I'm going to try to post right here just to see if I could do it. Top one futures, code RDF, book map, and other companies that we know and love. What's up, Wolf? What's going on? Look at that. You can chat. Yeah, guys, again, if you're hopping on here, I'm testing a couple things. I usually stream first thing in the morning on YouTube and streaming there for quite a while. I've got hundreds of hours of streamed content, and I'm doing this through StreamYard to see. Oh, what's up? There we go. What's going on, guys? Yeah, throw some comments in the chat so I can see what's up. I'm gonna try to do something real fancy here in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So that posts, code RDF posts. Interesting. Yeah, again, guys, I'm testing with StreamYard today, so let's see. Okay, banners are working. That's cool. Code RDF gets you the best deal at top one futures. I can read your guys' comments. Let's see if we can do this fancy move. Hang on. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we can get comments up on the screen. All right, Wolf, what's going on? Look at that. We can get comments up on the screen. That's cool. Wolf, can you see that on YouTube? Because I know you're on YouTube. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, man, market's burning. What's up? Short oil. Yeah, I don't so let's talk markets. I appreciate can't post some comments to destinations. Okay, that's interesting. All right, we're going to figure this out. But anyway, man, I'm going to look to get some trading in. I'll hang out with you guys for a little bit on here as I test to see how this works. Again, completely unscheduled. Didn't let anybody know I was hopping on, but yeah, you can see that. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, we're going to play around and see. And tomorrow morning, we'll run it here across a whole bunch of platforms. Getting real fancy with it. Let's see. Just checking one thing out with you guys. Okay, now I can't see the comments. Yeah, I took it off. I get to show those. But let me see on my end real quick without completely jacking this up. Oh, look at that. I can see it on. Yeah, I took it off. Ooh, I can see it on Twitter. Hang on. Without completely jacking this up. Oh, look at that. Ooh, I can see it on Twitter. Hang on. Cool. Yeah, let's run this. I'm testing a couple things again, guys. I'm gonna look for some trades real quick. I'm actually just scoping it out myself on Twitter, seeing what we got rolling. All right, man. Let's look for some trades. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do here. We got a whole bunch of people hopping on. What's up? Hey, Zach, you got plenty of followers. yeah. What's this in the afternoon? Nice. Keith, what's up? Yeah, testing some stuff. Yeah, you guys know. 9:30 a.m. Eastern almost every damn day. Live on YouTube. But we're going to be live across platforms. We're going to do it for everybody, right? Free means free, and we're going to get this rolling for everybody. So if we zoom out real quick, I'll get some analysis rolling. I took a W in the morning getting long, and then an L in the afternoon getting short in a separate set of accounts. These bad boys, I've been live trading with you guys since I got them. So I'm going to look for a trade. This is testing a zone that I had marked on my chart from this morning all the way up to that 6,200 level. I don't think that we tapped that. Just taking a look at what we got going on Bookmap. We got quite a bit of liquidity there, like 275 on the book, just below 6,200. Looks like another 230 right at 6,200. I don't know how I get long on this outside of hitting the buy button. But this has just been a gnarly uptrend really all day after we tapped yesterday's high, opening above it. Had a little bit of a dip here. You had a couple maybe buying opportunities, but it's just been bulls all day, running to highs that we have not seen recently at all. 220. Again, I'm not the afternoon trader. This is really not. Dre says good luck. Here, let's see if we can throw that on there. Yeah, Dre, I think I'm going to need it. Oh, look at that. See, Dre, I can see you on here. Yeah, again, guys, for me, I'm pretty much of a reversion style trader, counter trend off the open into the afternoon. Really not my cup of tea. I'd like to clock a trading day in these accounts, try to get something rolling. I'm not gonna mind throwing a short in here. We cracked the 6,200 evens and just continue. I would obviously be dead wrong getting short up here, but I'm going to throw something light up here with like a 10-point stop. 62.05. Yeah, we could run right towards that because we got another 200 on the book up here. Would have been cool if we came up here, grabbed the middle of this area, and started to sell off. Again, I don't know that we dump into MOC. I don't think that we dump at all. I think we just keep pushing for the moment. But I'd look to capture a little bit of a pullback on this. We've kind of got another nice leg extension up here. I could see some potential selling pressure. Maybe we got to hit the 6,200s. Call me crazy, but I'm going to throw a short on this. We also have a declining, well, I got booked at the started late, so technically my cumulative volume delta is all over the place. Yeah, let's throw something on here.
Order filled.
We're going to throw a mini on the book. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down. Yeah, right to the 05 level. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that, take profit. We start to sell off. I'm going to look to just grab a little bit of profit. Again, guys, really just want to clock a trading day here. It's not a great way to trade. I don't think it's a super smart idea to say, I need to take a trade to clock a trading day, or I'd like to make $150 so I can clock a profitable trading day that I need on these accounts. But that's the dynamic that we deal with prop firms, for better or for worse in this situation. But that's what I'm going to throw on here. You could get long here, obviously, and just run it to the upsides. Maybe stop loss down below here, stop loss all the way down below here. Just looking for this drift to continue. I'm going to go for that afternoon cliff. That's what I'm going for. It's 2:33. We got about an hour till we start to come into that. Well, we got about 35 minutes till we come into power hour, and that 350 MOC gets pretty gnarly unless you like to gamble. That's a dicey one to hold through. But yeah, again, I appreciate you guys hopping on. Just kind of testing a couple things, seeing what we got rolling. This looks good. Yeah, this looks good. One of those days, Will says, market looks like it's gonna fall, but slowly grinds up. Having these days more frequently. Yeah, man. Once we really start to break and just put these, oh, look at that. Just put these really big bullish bars in, right? That's what a lot of these days look like, especially for NYSE session. We could get some selling pressure. This one we had a lot of overnight movement, right? We look at session changeover, and we really just drifted all the way higher, opened up above prior day high. So this was just a lot of movement overnight, and then really all the way through the session. Starting after the first 15 minutes, we swept back down to prior day high, tapped the 60s, right? 61.59s, and then just took off from there. Hardly any pullbacks. So yeah, I'm gonna throw this one on again. I'm gonna hang out with you guys for a little bit. Not a lot of sense putting this one on outside of just I don't see how I get long, so I'm gonna get short. Try to clock a trading day. Maybe we sell off, allow me to grab a little bit of profit and continue on. Again, trading live, right? So I'd like to put a trade on, but this is more of a test run to see what this looks like across across platforms. But yeah, man, I can see we're live on both, so this is cool. I like this. You guys that are on YouTube, is this coming through clear? Is this still coming through at least like 1080? Everything looks and sounds good. Just out of curiosity, maybe one of you guys can help me out. See what we got rolling. Let me know if you can see and hear me clearly. Looking good. Nice. Thanks, Keith. Awesome, man. I'm gonna test this myself. Oh, look at that. I can see myself from Twitter. Nice. Nice. This is good. This is really good. I didn't get IG to connect, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do that tomorrow, but this is sweet. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We're just going to rip to the upside, go crack the 6200s. We can come back down maybe to like the 90s. I wouldn't mind that. Let's see if I can show you guys Bookmap while I'm on here. Grab this. Show you guys Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. Let's see what we can do. Nice. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. Now, I started this, actually had to restart it, started it late, so my volume profiles and CVD is jacked up. But from when I started this, we're kind of declining, right? Declining on volume up here, at least buying volume. Looking at this to maybe start to drift, right? We came all the way up. We did have these orders on the book here. Yeah, from the morning, really. We came up, we grabbed the 95s. Maybe that's all we have to do. Come and check this area out, put a little double top in, and start to drift lower. I wouldn't be surprised if we cracked right through the 6200s, filled these that were on here, and that's the last bit of liquidity that buyers want to pick up. And then we kind of just consolidate. But again, we could have some heavy buying pressure. You know, we're approaching all-time highs. We could have really heavy buying pressure coming into the close. Again, I'm just selling picking a top here, which is not always a smart move, but selling the end of maybe this big move to the upside as sellers start to step in here. Or we just continue to drift higher and we put some actually nice volume in, some buying pressure, and we come through some of this liquidity. But that's definitely a reason for concern, the 6200s. I'm looking for us to turn before that. Just kind of drift back down lower, maybe to the 87s, 85s. Give me a way to structure risk on this trade, start to sell off. We are trading, the 94.5s. I'm short from 195.50. One mini. And we come back down. It's an area of high volume. We consolidated there. You know, that'd give me a little $500 of profit. See what we can do. See what we can do. But let me go ahead and bring back up my main page. Actually, we can watch this for a minute. Yeah, there you go. Got some sellers moving some stuff around. You saw that one light up and then come right off. Interesting. Yeah, again, I do like Bookmap. I've been watching Bookmap for quite a while now. I definitely don't consider myself the expert. I approach it like a complete idiot, the way that I do most of my trading. But I've been paying more attention to CVD, Cumulative Volume Delta. Pretty interesting. If we really see some consolidation up near a level and that we've been pushing up to, for example, and we start to see CVD decline, really start to drop off, turn negative, I'm hard-pressed to not start to pay attention to it. I've just been glancing down at the bottom right-hand side a little bit more, watching what happens throughout the day, and it's interesting to see how that reacts. You know, conversely, if we're selling off and CVD is, starting to bottom out or, really increase, we start to consolidate, it can kind of give you a little bit of added confirmation for maybe a reversal play or just the strength that the trend is dying out. Again, I think with any tool, you got to watch it for a really long period of time to get a really good feel for it. And I just haven't watched it for that long. I just don't have enough experience to, say something really confidently. I want to use this in my trading. I want to apply it to my trading decisions really aggressively. But it's definitely something that I'm starting to pay attention to on Bookmap, outside of just regular key levels of liquidity. Well, let's see what we can do here. I'll show some reaction, letting people think it's going to go down, and then it'll take everyone who's short out. That's how I look at it. Yeah. I would say that that's what's been happening all since NY Open. Yeah, very possible, right? Very possible, Wolf. That was looking pretty solid, right, for a short play, right? Came all the way up, cracked the 85s. Was kind of the top end of this movement here, drifted above. That looked like a nice movement to the downside. If you were looking short back to VWAP, that could have definitely caught you as we came back down below that low. And then we just drift higher, right? Consolidate quite a bit here, up near the 85s again. We definitely liked this level today. Really like to hang out here. But it's just been a drift higher, solid drift higher. But we'll throw something on, see if we can't grab maybe a couple $100 of profit, or take an L. That's trading. We're going to do one or the other. Take our losses on the chin. But while we're on here, let me pull this graphic up for you guys that are on here right now. I'll give you guys the early info for tomorrow. Check this out. So usually, I don't say anything. Usually, it's random days, random times. But if you can't do the math and say that I only gave away one so far this week yesterday, and I didn't stream this morning, and I didn't give one away today, that we're going to have one tomorrow, here's your heads up. It's going to be a giveaway tomorrow. Someone's going away with a 50K straight to funded pro account from Top 1 Futures. No activation. Somebody gets funded right on the stream. Shout out Top 1 Futures. I'm partnered. I'm biased. Can't stand to be unbiased if I stand to make money. But I think it's awesome to give back, get some free accounts out to the people that are hanging out on the live stream. So that'll be tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. You got to hop on the stream. We get a bunch of people on, get some likes rolling, and we do a giveaway. Random giveaway form. Don't pick my friends. Wolf, tell them. Tell them how I don't pick my friends. But yeah, if you guys hop on, I'm doing those every week. Giveaways every single week. Shout out Top 1 Futures for supporting that. But multiple giveaways, straight to funded 50Ks. As you can see right now, this is the afternoon, so I do have quite a bit more in the morning session. There's 31 people on this live session. You got great odds to win. So, just like how prop firms ban sim farmers, you should start banning giveaway farmers. Yeah, I should start banning giveaway farmers. Listen, I tell everybody, don't spam it, right? Don't fill it out more than once. The only thing that ensures is that you will not get a chance to hop back on the next one. So, yeah, we ban giveaway farmers. If you try to ruin the fun for everybody, that's not nice. So, you got one shot to win on every one, but you can hop on and win. I know I've been waiting for a chance to win. I won one. It was great. There we go. Keith won. There we go. Keith says, I won one. It was great. Don't go crazy like I did. I was down $900 after 3 days. Just got back to break even yesterday. Awesome, Keith. Shout out to Keith getting back to break even. That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, you got to take it easy, man. You got to take it easy. Don't go crazy. But yeah, let me test some of these. Yeah, banners are working. I like this. This is nice. This is real nice. Oh, the people who jump on the live streams only for the giveaways. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Listen, soon as I put a trade on, soon as I start doing a giveaway, yeah, of course, viewers and likes jump, all that fun stuff. But I get it, man. Right? I was on live streams, early on for a while, and I thought it was nice. I thought it was awesome. Get some free resets, right? A certain firm used to give those out like candy. Get a chance to win some giveaways, some free accounts, right? Or a special discount code. I think that stuff's cool, right? And I'm grateful to be in a spot to do that. So I went crazy at the beginning of this month. I may or may not have given away way too many accounts and cash. We did straight to funded account giveaways every single day and cash. So that was pretty heavy. Had to dial it back just a little bit. We'll see if I don't get yelled out on this one, but we're going to run multiple 50K straight to funded giveaways every week on the stream. That's the game plan going forward. So, again, I appreciate people that hop on here, and if I can't do that, at least I'll do is hop on here and take some trades with you guys. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. We do have a stop up there. We're not rolling complete degen into MOC, but we're gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out. But yeah, guys, if you don't know me, we've got a couple people hopping on. If you don't know me, my name's Zach. I trade live on YouTube. I have for a while, almost every damn day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I don't claim to be the best trader. Far from it. There's plenty of other traders that you can watch that will tell you they're the best trader. That's not me. I've been trading for about 6 years, but I'm still a normal idiot, just here trying to turn a profit in the market. Still make mistakes, no crazy leaderboards and insane live, profit P&Ls with props. Just doing what I can to turn a profit. So more than happy to have you with me. If you say, that's stupid, man, I don't want to watch you, that's totally cool. That's free. You can click away now. If you want to hang out here and smash the like button and subscribe, I'm more than happy to have you here. I'm also happy to have you in the 100% free trading Discord. I don't have anything to sell you outside of yapping about prop firms and companies that I'm affiliated with. But guess what? You can hop on here, hang out, never say anything, never hit the like button, fill out a form, even though Wolf doesn't like me to say this. Grab yourself a straight to funded account, maybe in a giveaway. We only got 36 people on here right now, so if I dropped one right now, I think you'd have a good chance. And take advantage, man. That's cool. Totally cool. Free means free. I enjoy doing it this way. So, and I'll always tell you, I'm biased, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated. Something I stand to make money from. I can't be unbiased, right? Important to note that. And I think if everybody just said that, it would be easy, right? If everybody just talked like a normal person, it'd be cool, and that's cool. If you think you're the best person and you're the best trader in the world, then that's cool. Say that, I would say I would definitely not think that about myself just yet. Maybe one day, but definitely not yet. Not even close. So, but that's me. That's just that's my 2 cents. So starting to get a little wiggly over here. Little wiggly. Yeah, man, we got some cool comments on here. Daniel, what's up? Spider, what's up? Love your attitude about trading. Yeah, man. I don't know. It works for me, right? It works for me. Maybe I'm too lackadaisical about it. But yeah, looking at Bookmap again, guys. We got heavy orders up here. I think if we start to turn, this could get real dicey into the close around the 6,200. I'm not looking for anything huge out of here. These are the straight to funded accounts with the intraday trailing drawdown. So I really do got to be cautious. If we start to sell off, I'm going to drag stop loss really aggressively. Just like to grab a little bit of profit here. I don't want to choke it just yet. But we're starting to get a little bit of selling pressure out of this area. Again, I don't mind it. We just tapped into this zone, kind of started to reject. We got a little bit of trend forming to the downside. There we go. Can we get some selling pressure down to the 85s? I would really love that. If we start to really aggressively sell off, again, guys, I'm going to drag stop loss into profit. Remember, not a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm an idiot. If you hopped on YouTube or Twitter and you copied what somebody was doing, trading, that's not a good way to trade. You don't want to do that. Yeah, watching this on Bookmap, man. Could grab the 85s. We got 165 on the book down here at 61.85. We have quite a bit right before that. Looks like I'm zooming out. Looks like the 87 level right here. Top end of this consolidation, right? I could see us coming down just to sweep this low. We got about 130 at 87.25 and 147. Is that 147? At 61.87. Again, just looking at the DOM, the depth of market. Before that, we would have to get through the 90s, 61.90s that we are approaching right down here. We got about 150 and then another 100 right up above that. Again, the stuff up here, the sell side is still drastically outweighing that with close to 300 stacked at 61.99 and then another 200, was that 209? 219 and 100 in between. So there's quite a bit sell side. If we start to pop, this could get pretty ugly. But not too bad yet. Give me a way to structure risk. Again, I'm not going to choke up on this just yet, but just going to grab a couple $100, clock a trading day, and go from there. There we go. Put a new low in. Getting close to that 90. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, I'd like to see us come through these 61.90 and a half. That would be sweet. There's about 140 on the book there. I think we could crack that really quickly. As soon as we do, I'm dragging. I just want to give this a little bit of room to dance around here. Let's see. Again, not looking for anything crazy. There we go. I'm going to trail really aggressively on this one, guys. Really aggressively, super tight. I want to see this go right here. Otherwise, I'm happy getting ticked out. I'm going to come right behind that one. Perfect. 159.70. Again, this still looks okay. Getting nice. Got really, really tight on that one. Right behind the 1 minute candle that was forming. As we started to come into that 190 and a half-ish area. We've got, we're coming into some orders right here. I think we can still go check out the 85s. But again, I'm fading this. I'm fading this movement here, which is not really, the trend is your friend, all those sayings. I'm not abiding by any of that. So if I'm really going to be stupidly counter trend, I'm going to aggressively trail, right? I give the trade a little bit of room to work, a little bit of room to breathe, right? Just in case we danced around. But once we start to sell right off, pretty aggressively, I'm happy to trail right into profit and get ticked out. Like, that's fine. Accomplished my goal hopping on here. Not only clocked a trading day, clocked a profitable trading day in these accounts. 159 bucks, really not going to move the needle one way or the other, but you do have to have $750 plus green days in these 150K accounts before you can request a payout. So if I start putting up some nice days, it's not a great situation, in my humble opinion, to be in where you qualify for a payout and then you have to keep trading for these small days. I think it can get you into this really ugly situation. So, yeah, grab some quick profit on that one. Let's see as we start to sell off. I'm interested to see now. Again, I think we go to the 85s. It's looking weak. Again, watching CVD, we really weren't growing up here. We started to drop off. It was coinciding with this price action here. A little bit of lower highs, lower lows on the 1 minute. Again, this is really zoomed in, and every other time frame is going to be very, very bullish outside of the last couple minutes. So I'm really cautious, holding on to a short, looking for an entire sell-off back down to VWAP because, gun to my head, I don't think we do that. I think we just kind of close near the highs today. I don't think this daily candle ends up with a huge wick to the upside. We come all the way back through VWAP or anything like that. I would look at this back up towards the highs, right? But captured what I wanted to capture. We had a couple pullbacks, some extension, right? I got short on this nice measured move up here, 10 points there. Looking from that low. I'm not a dead set measured move guy, but I don't mind taking a look at the average, right? Around how much we're extending and then what the pullbacks are looking like. As you can see, price just tends to repeat itself, right? These nice 10-point moves to the upside, 5-point moves to the downside. We start to come like way through this, we really could see some selling pressure, but I could see the 85s. I could see one more, like Wolf said, one more move to take everybody out that got long right here, and then piss everybody off by going to take everybody out that got short right into the close. I could definitely see that happening. But yeah, no complaints about that. See, look at that. Wolf was telling me trail. Decent entry is more important than the trend, in my humble opinion. There are days when I got stopped out going long on strong uptrends and vice versa. Yeah, it's all timing, right? Trading's a game of inches, and I really do think your entry is important, but also your trade management, super important. Almost more than just the trend or your entry itself is the sizing, right? The position sizing, the risk, how you're utilizing your risk, and then how you manage that trade. Because man, I've mismanaged trades, left and right, with good entries and good sizing, just letting that fear or greed or whatever oddball emotion creep in. So I'm happy to be the first to tell you that, managing trades is extremely important as well. But yeah, entry, right? All about entry. How did me and Randy, I streamed live on YouTube in the morning, guys, if you don't know, 9:30 every damn day on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing it here. But how did me and Randy, both times that he was on, go long and short? I got long and he got short on the first one, then I got short and he was getting long on ES and still come out making money. Trade management, right? We stuck to our approach, stuck to our system. I trailed when I needed to trail, got taken out, made money. He held on to his trade, waited for whatever had to happen for him to start to take profit, and we both ended up making money. No complaints there. definitely no complaints. But yeah, nice to grab a little win. Again, if you guys are hanging out on here, let me see if I can do this one. Top 1 futures, 55% off, code RDF. Remember, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I stand to make money, I can't be unbiased. It's what I'm trading here live with you guys. If you want to check it out, click the link in the chat that I posted earlier. 55% off, better deal than what's in the email, what's in the promotions, any of that stuff. The best deal available right now on the straight to funded sim pro, whatever the hell we call it. And this bad boy right here, giveaways are back in action. I had to cool off earlier this month, went a little bit crazy. We got a little bit hot on the giveaways, gave away a lot of accounts in cash. But every week on the live streams, I'm going to do multiple 50K account giveaways. No purchase necessary, nothing crazy. Basic contact information. Someone gets funded live on the stream right then and there. Random number generator. We call it out right there. It's fun to do. Plus, I'm starting to do some, like, if you call out the lucky number, we'll add some cash in there. That's been fun. That's been fun. So again, guys, that's your early heads up. I usually don't tell you exactly when it is. There's one tomorrow. We got one tomorrow, kids. W trade, yeah, W's in the chat. Again, we're chilling out here. Took a quick short. Picked the top on this one. Let's see. Again, I was streaming arbitrarily, testing at this time. Wanted to throw a trade on, so I'm not going to call myself a genius ever, but definitely not going to call myself a genius on that one. Did have this zone drawn out, high volume area, much more zoomed out, 6200s. A lot of liquidity up here. We picked everything up. It looked like seller volume was dying down. Just reading bookmap in the simple way that I do. Started to drift lower, and here we go. Let's see if we come back down to the 85s, right? If I was holding on to this, if I wasn't ticked out, rather, I'd say before the 85s, maybe 86s, 87 and a halves. That would be a decent spot to look for some profit right below a level of structure here. If I look on the 15-minute, yeah, sweep down into this area, right? Towards these highs, this low right here. Maybe we get a quick spike down, fake everybody out one more time like Wolf said, and then, crack to the upside and close near the highs. Zoom out, fix my VWAP. So what's been tough after my payout? My first payout, definitely got a bit too confident. Yeah, brother, I feel that. Try to stay down the middle, man. Overconfidence, underconfidence, all of that can be. Here, I'll throw some of these on there. W trade, John, appreciate you, man. Overconfidence, underconfidence, they can both be killers, right? You have to come to the market with a little bit of arrogant confidence because we got to take losses and then continue trading, and we have to really believe that we can extract money from the markets at a zero-sum game where we are up against some really smart people. So I do think it takes a little bit of like arrogant confidence to be able to trade well. But man, you start to run up an account, you start to take a couple payouts, you start to see some profit. It can get real easy to get overconfident, and you can oversize. You can say, forget about risk management, forget about taking it slow. It's time to make some real money now. I know what I'm doing. I got paid. I'm in the green. And you can start to slip in a number of areas. But yeah, Will said that's true. Trading after payout is different. But that's where we should keep our heads just proper. Yeah, man, you want to stick down the middle, right down the middle, right? In a losing streak, it goes both ways. In a losing streak, you don't want to get underconfident. You don't want to lose your nerve. You don't want to start changing things up, questioning if you know what you're doing or not. And in a winning streak or payouts, right, when you're making some profit, when you're green, you want to be cautious. Here we go, right back down, man. Do we go tap to 85s? Damn, got ticked out on that one. Got ticked out. Wolf, where's the comment? I'm going to go back to it. Trail. No. That's how I manage these trades. If you guys watch me trade, especially these accounts, I haven't traded stuff with an intraday trailing drawdown. What level did I just say, though? I said I'd be taking profit around the 87.5. Go back, take a look. 85s, I think, is a decent spot if you want to hold a little bit longer, if you were short on this before a potential reaction. Otherwise, hold on to the cliff, right? If that's your play, we are going to close with a big, nice wick to the upside here. That being said, if you're looking for the run for the 6200s, this ain't a bad way to structure risk, right? If you're like, I was waiting for a way to get long all afternoon, That's probably your way right there, right? Maybe not that wide. I think you're dead wrong if we continue all the way down like through the 85s back down to the 80s. This doesn't look like it's just a dip lower, but that could be your long right there. I'm not jumping into that. I could definitely see MOC coming in strong at 350, and we get a pop towards the highs, that final buying pressure, right? Market participants seeing how much the market's rallied and saying bulls are in town. But I'm not looking for that right now. I'm interested to see what happens here though. Again, 87s and a half. That's probably where I would be grabbing profit. Why? Level of liquidity that we just came into. We had on the book for a while since we came past it. At 130? Yeah, at 130 came on the book with about 200 lots. 85s is the last real thing that has a lot of order until we get past the 80s. So I could definitely see the 85s if we wanted to come down and grab that. But yeah, CVD looks weak. Not an enormous amount of volume, but there's a bit of volume there. Take a look. Even down on the bottom, you can see it. Right? Right down here. Got a little bit of volume coming into that. If you look relative to what we had on the book, had on our candlestick chart, right? Just traditional volume down here, which is fairly reliable. Pretty high. Let's see. Let's see if we spike right back up. Let's see it. I think we will. I think maybe we dip down one more time, hit the 85s, and then we close near the highs, right? I don't know. I don't know that we sell like right back off and come like all the way down here, back into like the 80s and the 70s and close with like a really, really long wick to the upside. I just don't know why we would start selling off now at 2:50 p.m. It looks like buyers have kind of just starting to die down, just looking at the chart, but that short play didn't work out too bad. No complaints. Your coupon code is the best. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, code RDF gets you the best deals. Shout out Top One Futures, right? Awesome. Appreciate you. Well, say, Zach, remember my question? It went down because you exited. If you held on, it would reverse. There you go. Yeah. Market makers are out to get us. Whatever we do, the opposite's going to happen. Yep. That's how it goes, right, Wolf? No, guys, it can definitely it can start to feel that way. It can definitely feel that way. You can have I'll throw the link to Discord in chat if you guys want to hop in there. More than happy to have you guys in. Again, not a VIP feeder program. None of that fun stuff. Just a bunch of yapping. Yeah, guys, it can definitely feel like if you trade long enough, it can feel like whatever you do, the opposite happens. You get long, the market sells off. You hit the sell button, the market rips, right? As soon as you exit the trade, the thing reverses and vice versa. It can feel like that, right? It can definitely feel like that. But if you really sit down and you think logically, I can promise you, the market's not out to get you. The market does not care what I am doing because I'm not even in the market right now. This is a sim-funded account. This is not even live market conditions. I put 100 lots on. We're not going to see that on Bookmap. That's number one. Number two, I really think it can feel that way because so often we are doing the wrong things as traders, right? Instead of holding on to our winners, we end up cutting them short and they continue out of fear, right? Out of an execution-based error. When we are in losing trades, oftentimes we move stop loss away. We continue to hold to oblivion, right? Even though the trade has shown us that, we are dead wrong in what we're doing. And I think that those factors can trick us into thinking that there's someone behind it. There's the market makers are getting us. The algo is, can see our stops and they're running our stops. Along with that, I just think what a lot of traders do on a candlestick chart and all of the tools that we use is very predictable, right? Oftentimes stops are placed right above and below highs and lows, right? People are entering as the market starts to break out. So just by nature of the way that a lot of traders are trading, I think the market moves in a way to collect that liquidity, right? And to just go be called to that spot because there's so many orders resting there, but not because it's some master conspiracy plan where there's a bunch of people sitting in a room and everyone's like, ha, we got them. We got everybody on their top one future sim accounts today. We smoked them. No, that's just not the way. And even in a live account, right? Like even in a live account with like, let's say 6 figures, you're not putting on size that's going to move anything, especially in something like ES, like a futures contract. Not even close, man. Not even close. Like, maybe if you're in like crazy small cap, like penny stuff, and you're trading massive size, but not even close, man. Not even close. So that's my thought process on that. Again, I'm an idiot. You can grain of salt it. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I don't think it's helpful. I've gone down all the different paths, and I've spent time wasting trying to understand the news, or how different sentiments are going to impact things, or talking heads. And I think that shit's a waste of time. Excuse my language. I really do. I wasted so much time on it, and I really only started to grab onto some consistency when I let all that go and I just focused on the tools in front of me. And I simplified everything I was doing. I stripped my chart of a million indicators, even though I got quite a few things on my chart for me. Really raw price action, market structure, volume, and now order flow. I run Bookmap on the side. I was showing you guys that earlier. We can take a look at Bookmap together right here. But there's only so much you can process. There's only so much you're actually going to be able to use in your trading decisions. And the more you add, the more you have to process, the more room for conflicting information there is, and the worse you are at it, right? If I just focused on Bookmap day in and day out versus the dude that's me that focuses on Bookmap and 47 other indicators, I'm not going to be as good as Bookmap at Bookmap. I'm just not. I'm not going to build that intuition, build that discretion, right? So that's the thought process. That's the thought process. Facts. Yeah, again, and that's me, man. Everybody's different. I'm happy to tell you, everybody's different. There's more than one ways to do this, for sure. I don't have it all figured out, but that's what started to work for me. I think these people that process a lot more information, and they do a great job at it. They're paying attention to different markets. They're paying attention to, YM, NASDAQ, the Mag 7, the VIX, gold, oil. They're also reading Bookmap. They're using footprint charts all at the same time. Big monitors, right? You put that in front of me, I would confuse myself. Maybe I'm just a simple guy, but I don't think I'm creating an additional edge with all of that stuff. I just don't. I like Bookmap because it is different information. You don't have to use Bookmap like I'm showing you here. You can use a traditional DOM. You can use basic stuff. But yeah, it's up to you. But for me, keeping it simple, keeping things really simple, focusing on that, and then focusing on being a good risk manager, but like I was talking about in Discord today, using risk as a tool, focusing on your mindset, your psychology, the way that you're thinking about trading and money, that's where progress is made. Or at least progress was made for me, right? For me. So, facts. Eddie says facts. Yeah, Mystic Rick. Glad to see you streaming today. I thought the Discord was no stream today. Yeah, man, it was no stream this morning. If you guys watch my IG, I yap on IG all the time. If you watch my IG story, I run quite a bit. I run marathons, ultra marathons. Not to brag, I'm not a great runner at all. Happy to tell you that. I ain't qualifying for Boston, but I'm running Chicago coming up. I'm supposed to in October, and legs started hurting, glute, hamstring, something happened. I overdid yoga, and so bad that I didn't want to run yesterday. I felt it, and I had to go get an MRI. Went to the doctor. So challenges, man, challenges. It's a good. I was talking about it yesterday. I don't want to deal with that, right? And I could just say, you know what, forget it. I don't want to pay what I have to pay for an MRI. I don't want to train because it's going to hurt. At very best, it's going to hurt, and I don't have something torn. But just like trading, man, it sucks oftentimes, but you just keep pushing through. You got two choices. You can say, this ain't for me. I'm just going to throw it in. It's getting hard. I'm going to quit. Or you could say, I'll fucking die out here before I quit. Excuse my language. And, you try to continue on. So I got past being a whiny brat and complaining when I was really sad and I had to go get an MRI. And went and got that done this morning. So That was the long way for me to say that I had an MRI this morning. That's why I didn't stream today. But we're testing streaming on multiple platforms here in the afternoon. We got a bunch of people on, man. This is great. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Took a quick W. Waiting to see if anything crazy happens. 3 o'clock. Just ticked over 3 o'clock Eastern here. Coming into power hour. Last hour of the trading session. I wouldn't mind to throw something on. What's up? There we go. Andrew. Hi. What's up? Hoi. What's going on? Process over profits. 100%. 100%, man. That's the key. That is the key right there. Absolutely. Wolf, market makers hunt stops on paper trading accounts as soon as that one person shows his stops. They would definitely hunt stops on sim. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You see? That's what's happening, guys. They're hunting. See, they're hunting from YouTube. Actually, the market makers are here. I don't know where you are, but you're here right now, right? And I'm avoiding being kidnapped, actually, right now. So this is crazy because they don't want me to make profit in my sim-funded account. That's what's going on. Thank you, Wolf, for bringing that to light. I appreciate you. No. Market makers don't care about our sim-funded profits or accounts, guys. It's easy to feel that way. It's really easy to feel that way. And I've had days early on where as soon as I hit the buy button, it just absolutely sells off. And then as soon as I hit the sell button, I literally, catch the bottom. But yeah, there's Wolf's green faces. Yeah, it could definitely feel that way, but I can tell you confidently that that is not the case. At least in my humble, biased opinion, it's not the case. So watch this market come back up. Yeah, we came down into those 87s. We didn't want the 85s, right? 87.5 would have been my target on that one. That would have been a really nice exit. Again, even if I trailed less aggressively, I would have gotten ticked out right here. Trailed down on a stop. That was a nice sell-off, though. Really nice sell-off. Something larger pullback, for the most part than we've seen. If we look at like some of the larger stuff that we saw today, 10 off the highs, right? Just doing a little bit of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm showing you book map. Hang on one second. Let's take a look. What I wanted to show you guys was not a bad pullback, right? Not a bad pullback here. Looking off the highs right about here without being 100% exact. Yeah, about 10 3/4 points, man. Looking at these measured moves, again, which you don't have to be like, in my mind, it's not exact, but if you say, hey, we're in an uptrend, we've pulled back around 10 points on the high end, that would be the deeper pullback there. The more shallow looked like around the 5-point mark, right? And nice like 10-point extensions to the upside. Those patterns tend to repeat themselves, right? Taking a look at this. Again, I'm just using a measurement tool. Clicking the shift key is how I do that. You can also come over here to the left-hand side and click that bad boy right there. You can measure it, right? Maybe you want to leave a measurement tool on your chart. So you would come over here and you would hit under, was it forecasting and measurement tools, price range, and this would actually stay on the chart. And you could say, wait a minute, let's look at that pullback right there. That was like 10 3/4 points. Let's measure this one out over here. If we sell off 10 3/4 points down here, I'm going to want to look for a reversal from that point. Just a way to like interpret price action and market structure, right? Not a specific tool, just understanding that we do have tick and point measurements that we can use to understand price movements. This setup scares me. You guys and your YouTube names, dude. I don't know. It's funny. Hope you get better, broski. Yeah, man, it's all good. I'm there's something going on. It's a strain or a tear or something light, but probably nothing too crazy. I just need to see if how much I need to back off of running if I'm really going to do damage training heavily for a marathon. That's pretty much it. But I appreciate you. Wolf's asked a good question here as we're hanging out watching this market move into power hour. And again, I'm kind of just testing a couple of things here. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Got a few people from a couple of different platforms. I'm going to have to test IG live tomorrow, but it's going to be dope. I'm going to stream to everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, and IG. Even though you guys on Twitter, I appreciate you being here, but man, that place is just a cesspool of drama these days. I heard some coach on TSTV once that on NQ, a 50 to 70 point is considered a pullback. Anything more than that is considered a reversal. Do you know if there's something similar exists for ES? I don't, Wolf. I don't. And I don't know if I would ever be that specific with it because volatility changes so much, right? So like a 50 to 70 point pullback on NQ on one day could be very, very modest. And a 50 to 70 point pullback on another day could be like a huge reversal. So for me, the way that I look at it, again, is I'll take a look at what's gone on, right? Like you could use ATR, for example, average true range, if you want to just take a look at, volatility and keep an eye on it. I do take a look at 5-minute volatility on ES from the 5-minute chart. I just get a feel for what that looks like, mainly because I just used to watch the 5-minute chart a lot. But what I'll do is, again, I'm just twitchy with the measurement tool. I'll take a look at the range that's forming in the morning, right? As we start to put the first 15 minutes in, the first half hour in, like what does that look like relative to me watching the chart every damn day? So, if the first, 30 minutes we're putting in a huge range, it's a 40-point range, right? Instead of it doing this, the candles are printing, 3 or 4 times as large. I'm going to know we're a lot more volatile, right? And I might expect a much larger pullback in an uptrend and something like that in those conditions. But for measured move type deals, again, I would say, okay, we extended to the upside. We started to pull back. Maybe we went like 13.75 points off the high. When we finally pulled back, if I was going to use this very heavily, which I don't, I'm honestly like I'm not really trading continuations on breaking retests this way, but you could take a look at how this plays out. 6.5 points right before we started to continue, broke the high, and then continued to the upside. You could say, all right, look at how that one pulled back. You could say around the 6.5 point mark, I'm going to start looking for an entry candle to get me into a long and give me a way to structure risk. Why? Because that was the depth for pullback over here. Does that always happen? No, absolutely not, right? You could say, all right, well, we're pulling back here, and I want to jump in 6.5 points, and you get smoked. Well, maybe you don't get smoked because we pull back down another 4.5 points on this one. But again, those types of measured movements, those patterns tend to repeat themselves in price. Not always, a little bit, enough to be dangerous, maybe. You can just look at highs and lows if you don't want to pull out a measurement tool as well, that type of deal. For me, I'm not really looking too closely at it. Today into the afternoon when we have, mostly because I don't have that. Let me just back up. In the morning, off the open, we don't have a lot of trend, right? We got like pre-market. You can definitely look at pre-market, but we got pre-market craziness, Asia and London, and that's not really what we're looking at. But into the afternoon, during a strong trending day, you could say, what would it really take to look like this thing was not continuing? Well, we pull back farther than we have at any point all day, and we start to sell off, right? That type of deal. But yeah, I think you could probably come up with a range, to be honest. You could probably come up with like something comparable for ES to say X number of points in an uptrend. If we sell off that much, that's not a pullback, that's a reversal. Maybe. But I think volatility just changes often, changes so much. So it's interesting. It's interesting. This may be true for most days, not on a highly volatile day, I guess. And if you guys got questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm happy to yap with you. I'm kind of hanging out. I was looking for something else. I'd like to put up more than 159 times 7 in these, but I don't mind clocking a $150 day. If something really appetizing started to happen, I definitely would jump in. But if you guys got questions, I'm hanging out with you for a little bit. Appreciate you jumping on. Got a little afternoon live stream rolling. Wolf says this may be true for most days, not on highly volatile days, I guess. For example, there were a lot of similar pullbacks, not more than 80-point pullbacks. Yeah, gotcha. Can you trade every session with top one? Yeah, you can trade every session with top one. Here, I'll share some comments. Oh, it's Wolf's comment. That's what he was just asking. Ralph, what's up? What's going on, Ralph? Welcome to the show, man. Ralph's an OG. Look, Wolf knows. Can you trade every session with top one? Yes, you could trade every session except for session changeover. I think at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. So regular trading session hours, you can get back in at 6 p.m. Sorry, at 4:10 p.m. Eastern, they kick you out. Even if you have trades running, they kick you out, and you can get back in after market opens back up at 6 p.m. Eastern time. That is the excuse me. That's the trading session. So you can't hold overnight. That's essentially the deal. No overnight. Kind of standard. You see that with most larger prop firms. I think there's only a few in the futures market that allow you to swing trade to hold overnight. A lot more common in the Forex market. But there is a pretty big liability for prop firms if they allowed that. Very, very difficult, I think, for them to manage risk. And if you looked in a regular broker account, like for example, I'll do it, so I'll quote it accurately because I was talking about it on the live in Discord actually. If someone was kind of not angry, but like, why won't they let you hold overnight, right? So let's go to like Tradeovate, right? And let's look at trading margins, right? And if we look at the required amount to hold ES, right, overnight. So for trading S&P, the day trading margin requirement to open one ES contract is $500, right? I'm like 99% sure. Yes, $500. Right now on their website, to hold that one contract, the initial margin, where is it? I think it's crazy. It's like 15 grand or something. Damn it. ES. Yeah, $23,662, right? Prices can move. It's obviously a lot less for like micros, right? Maybe you say, well, that's crazy, Zach. I just want to trade micros. Let me see if I can try find MES. Yeah, $50 for the day trading, $2,366 for in micro E-mini S&P. But yeah, that's a risk for them, right? A lot of things can happen. We can open huge gap up, huge gap down. I think it's very difficult for them to manage risk and control risk for that. So they just opt to say, everybody get out, right? Everybody get out. We're going to take you out at 410. The same way that if you were trading in a live account, in a futures, broker with a futures broker, right? You're on Tradeovate. You don't want to have that type of margin requirement. You don't need that much in your account to actually trade. You get out, you get back in if you want to get back in. So. What's up? Yo, brand new here. Love the content on Top One. Go give them a try. I trade with Top Step X, looking for other props as well. I do content for YouTube. What's up, man? Absolutely, man. Appreciate you having on. Appreciate you hopping on. Yeah, Top Step's solid, right? I still trade with Top Step. I've been on Top Step TV plenty of times. Been on pretty much every show they've had on there. Every segment, solid. I think there's some stuff that I don't super agree with, but solid platform, right? I love Project X. A lot of flexibility if you don't mind taking an eval. I think that's a pretty sweet option for you, especially if you are a home run hitter. You don't want to deal with a traditional consistency rule. Top Step's solid, man. Top One's pretty cool, instant funded. You also get the Project X platform, same as Top Step X. So you can hop on there and check it out if you want. But as always, guys, do your own research, right? I try to repeat that a ton. Go to the site the same way that you would have to with Top Step. Read the frequently asked questions page. Check this stuff out. When you purchase the accounts, do you do so one at a time, or you do all five? You buy all five at once. You have to purchase them one at a time. Unfortunately, as annoying as that is, I think it's the same with every firm. You have to purchase them one at a time. You can't purchase all five at one shot. I don't know why, but you do have to purchase each single one individually. Do you think the add-on is worth it, and how much? I would say no. Right? As somebody that stands, well, let me backtrack. It depends. Depends on the person. But let me go right to the site and look at this with you guys. So the only add-on right now, if I click on... So the straight to funded Sim Pro, which is the intraday trailing drawdown, the one that I'm on right here, there is no add-on. There's no add-on. With the traditional accounts that I also have, the instant Sim funded accounts is what they're called. The more expensive end of day trailing drawdown, normal 20% consistency rule, they have an anytime payouts add-on, right? Which would mean you don't need the 10 minimum trading days to get towards a payout. You use code RDF on the 150K, it's taking off $239. If you add that anytime payouts add-on on, it's 35% of the original price of the account. To me personally, I'm not in like that much. First off, I don't think I'm that great of a trader where I'm going to be ripping through payouts every 5 days and need to take a payout, right? So for the most part, it's not going to bother someone like me. When they initially rolled out, the way that it was to work towards a payout was a little bit cleaner, and I think if you, not cleaner, but it was faster if you had the anytime payouts option. It back then, maybe. At this point, if you just want the freedom and flexibility, sure. If you're going to hold on to the accounts for a long time, I think it can be worth it. For most traders, I don't know that it's a great use of your funds. And again, that's somebody that's biased that would make more money if I said, yeah, definitely buy it. You don't want to wait 10 trading days. So same with the daily loss limit, right? If you add it's no daily loss limit now. But if you wanted no daily loss limit when they first rolled out, that was an add-on. Same at some other firms. For the most part, a daily loss limit is going to help you, right? It's going to save you. If you're an advanced trader and you want to use the entire size of the account and you don't want the firm to take you out in the middle of your trading day and you're okay risking a large size of that account, then yeah, the DLL could be a problem. And I'd say, it's worth it. For most traders, do you need to be able to lose more than it was $3,750 on a $6,000 max loss limit? You probably don't need to lose that much. Your daily loss limit should be set personally for yourself. So it depends. That's the long way of saying it depends on the trader. For the most part, again, unless you're advanced, unless you've been down these roads before, I'd probably say round one, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you're going to trade them real slow and hold on to them and you get in with the good deal, sure, get the most advantageous account you can and add it on. But totally up to you. So used to love, brother had to sub. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. Eddie, look at that, man. Tried a few prop firms, top one, by far the best. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Again, I'm biased. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated with them. Here's my opinion on that. I don't think there's any one best. I think it depends on the trader. I think it really depends on the trader for so many reasons. I just recorded a video before I hopped on here, right? You might be somebody that says, I love TradeOvate. I love the platform. I've been trading on there for 15 years. I have automation set up. I know everything like the back of my hand. I want a prop firm that allows me to trade on TradeOvate. Is Top 1 Futures going to be the best for you? Maybe not. Maybe not Top Step either, because they just got rid of TradeOvate also. You might be a trader that says, I'm a home run hitter, right? I trade in a very low win rate, very high risk to reward, and I don't want a consistency rule. I don't want a 20% consistency rule that's going to throttle me, right? That might not work well for you with Top 1, right? Again, you might love Top Step. You might say, I want to not take an eval. I don't want to waste time trading for money that I don't stand to withdraw. I don't want to deal with that stuff. Instant funded, right? So I think it depends. I think it really just depends on the individual trader, right? Look at your rules. And I did a roundtable with a whole bunch of traders: Austin, Joey Morgan, Isaac, Tanner, strong trader, and that was my comment, right? There's probably not one best for everybody. There's probably a best for you specifically. The way that you trade, the platform, the style, right? All of these things. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I think it's an awesome opportunity. Otherwise, I wouldn't be partnered with them. I think Top Step is another really solid opportunity. Plenty of other firms to check out, right? Big names. With Top Step, you have to make $200 for 5 days before a payout. Besides the consistency rule, does Top One require a minimum trading day, minimum dollar amount for a payout? It's 3 different accounts with Top One. The Elite Challenge, which we're not going to talk about it at all. We're talking about 2 instant funded options. In the standard instant funded option, there's no minimum amount that you have to make before you take a payout. As far as per day, it's just a trading day, opening and closing a trade. In the straight to funded Sim Pro, the one that I'm trading here, which is the harder account, the one with the ESS rule, the intraday trailing drawdown, other things that make it difficult, there is a minimum profitable day, and it's 0.1% of the balance of the account for 7 days. So in this account that I'm on right now, on top of everything else, you have to put up $750 green days. In a 50K account, for example, you got to put up $750 days, green $50 days. So again, 2 different accounts. The OG, regular, standard ones, whatever you want to call them. They're definitely not called OGs, but the original instant funded, which are on the site, the more expensive, end of day trailing drawdown, 20% consistency, the basic instant funded. No, just trading days. For these, the Sim Pro, yes, and it's a 0.1, which is $150. I have a detailed breakdown on my YouTube. Christy, I see you're from YouTube on this one. Detailed video comparing both of those 2 different accounts. And for anybody on here that wants to understand in detail the difference, I have a breakdown on those. I also have a breakdown on the ESS score. I also have a breakdown on intraday trailing versus end of day. I have an entire tutorial series on Project X. I got a ton of info, so feel free to check that out. And if you have questions, hop in my Discord. I will do the best I can to answer them and help you out. Along with that, reach out to their support. If you have a question, a specific, you watch my video and you're like, Zach's an idiot, I don't know what he's talking about, and you have a more specific question, hit their support, for sure. Thank you, super helpful. Absolutely, no problem. If I can't do that, I don't think I'm doing a good job. Does instant Top One let me take profit same day? For the most part, no, right? Like if you bought an instant funded account at any instant funded prop firm, you're not taking a payout on the same day. You have a handful of different rules that you would need to hit before that happens. Once you get moved to a live account, they have same day payouts, they have everyday payouts. Getting a little wiggly here on the chart. I know I'm yappy. I think I'm going to try these straight to fund to 50K. Yeah. So the 50K account, honestly, the 50K account and why I was such a 50K account trader with Top Step, and I will probably be going back to the 50K accounts with Top One, is the payout, the max loss limit to payout requirement. That ratio is best on the 50K, right? Here's what I mean. Let's explain that. On the 150K, the standard 150K right now with with Top Step it's the same actually. I think it's the same. I think they're 4,500. So with the let me not trail. The 150K instant funded with Top One futures right now, you have a $4,500 max loss limit. That's the most you can lose, and you have to put up $9,000 before you can take a payout, right? And you can take a payout of $3,500. In the 50K account, you have a $2,000 max loss limit, and you only have to put up $3,000 in order to take a payout. And the payout you could take out is $2,500. So when you look at the difference there, the max loss limit is tighter, but the percent relative to that max loss limit that you have to put up, the dollar amount, is much less. And when you get to request a payout, you could take out more of that profit. So the 50K account, along with it, is cheaper. The 50K account at a lot of prop firms, and that's typical. That's typical across like most of the prop firms that I see, is a really good option. Again, the markets are volatile, and $2,000 is not a lot of room to work, especially if you're going to trade minis. But you can trade micros on these. So I think the 50K option is something that a lot of traders overlook, and many of them don't really even understand the difference that I'm talking about here. So go to the site, go to your favorite prop firm, Top One or anybody else, look at the prices of the accounts, look at the max loss limit, and look at the profit target. The 50K is usually the best option in that sense. Again, Not best for everybody, right? Because technically the payout cap is smaller. The max loss limit is tighter, right? There's always an argument to be made for both sides. But the 50K, I think, is really important to point out. There is a difference there at most firms, including Top One, that is very advantageous. And I traded on Top Step. I think I've only taken a payout on Top Step from 150K, but I traded on Top Step starting with the 150Ks. Well, this is way back, trying to pass them, and they were much more difficult, right? You have to double your max loss limit. I swapped over to the 50Ks, and I was like ripping through passing them, right? The ratio is just much, much better. So again, but that's different for everybody. That's very different for everybody. No one best, as hard as that is. Good questions, though. How many contracts would you use for the 50K account? It depends. That's another one. It depends so much, right? It really completely depends on your personal trading style, your approach, your risk tolerance. There's not an easy answer to that one, unfortunately. If you want to be conservative, I would trade minis. I would trade micros. I wouldn't trade minis. I would trade micros, and I would keep it pretty small. But it depends if you're on ES, NQ, gold. It depends how many trades you want a day. All these things come into it. Zach is busy here. I'm on Discord yapping away to glory. Oh no, here we go. We got problems. No, you guys are good. Yeah, again, you guys want to hop in Discord? We'd be more than happy to have you in there. So guys, this is, look at that. Just got an email from, I'm getting set up with a new broker for a new live futures account. This is actually the second one with them. I messed something up the first time, but nice. Got some live account trading coming up, boys and girls. I've obviously traded a considerable amount of live accounts in my past, not obviously, but I've traded some large size Forex accounts, just live personal cash accounts, not to be confused with like live at a prop firm. Obviously, I have live, also not obvious, but I have live equity accounts, right? Your standard investment brokerages. I manage those, but I really have not done heavy into straight up futures trading, right? Loading up live cash accounts. So I'm excited to be doing that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Remember, I'm giving you the early warning. I'm going to do it again if you hopped on late. I usually don't say this, right? Because I do it random days, random times. That's just a fun way that I do it. Giving out a 50K straight to funded account on my live stream tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys hopping on. We had a bunch of people hop on and off this, so this was dope. Might have to do some in the afternoon for you guys. Thank you guys for... Ralph, are you going to be streaming your personal live account? Likely not, Ralph. I'm likely not. I have way too many accounts to manage at this point, which is a downside. I have way too many accounts with multiple firms at this point. 7 that you see me copy trading here with Top One, plus the additional 3, a 5-pack with Top Step, plus accounts on backup with them. Again, it just becomes way too many accounts, and what I'd like to do is stream with you guys these accounts right here, just personally. This is the 7-pack of the straight to sim funded pro, the new ones. I'm the guinea pig. I haven't copy traded this many accounts ever, first off. I also haven't traded intraday trailing drawdown accounts, which these have, or equity stability scores, which these have. So I'm more than happy to show you a car crash in action. I'm more than happy to show you mistakes that I make along the way to trying to figure these out, right? So that's what I'm going to do here with these. That's my game plan. But always happy to kind of keep you guys updated and talk about that. I try to be cautious about what I talk about, like, oh, I did this off stream, whatever. But you can go back here if you want to look at my track record. That's what I'm doing right here, right now. These videos stay up on YouTube. Take a quick look at my live sessions. You'll see there's tons of them. That's why I do this, right? To kind of show you what works for me, what doesn't work for me as a normal idiot trying to make money in the markets. The account that I'm trading itself, the risk tolerance, it matters for prop firms, but we're all going to be at a different spot. We're all going to be doing different stuff, right? Someone's going to be trading a $500 live account. Somebody's going to be copy trading 100, prop firm accounts. Somebody's going to be live trading $1 million live account, right? It's going to be all different. So I'll show you this for the prop firm side. That's kind of my game plan, right? But maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll change stuff up in the future. See where I go. I was going to wrap it up. Hey, Zach, is it irrational to feel like it's too late to invest? I just graduated and I want to start investing all the money. I won't need to live, but it feels like the market is already so high. No, Luke. Okay, so first off, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm an idiot on YouTube. You're asking me this. But I think if you asked any individual, any person, would it have been better for you to invest earlier? The answer is almost always yes, right? So when we talk about straight up investing, like your Roth, IRA, maybe investment brokerages that you run on the side, if you're doing really long-term stuff, you're young, you're just graduating college, we're talking about like 30, 40 years before you're touching these accounts, hopefully, right? That is plenty of time for the market to completely sell off, dip, crash, recession, and then come all the way back through all-time highs, right? It's always difficult to look to invest in anything around all-time highs. I 100% see that. But take a look at the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones. Zoom out and look at what it's done over the last, how long you're going to be in the markets, 30, 40 years, right? 50 years. They go up. Stonks go up and to the right, right? So are you going to pick the perfect time? Probably not, right? Probably not. You could always try to time it, but that's a very different thing than what we're doing here, Luke, which is more like picking companies that you believe in and you want to hold on to for long periods of time, putting your money in index funds and holding on to it until you retire, again, 30, 40 years down the road. And there's never a better time to start doing that than early on, right? So I'll give you an example real quick, right? I'll give you a quick example before we go. This is a good conversation. It's not really trading related, but maybe investing related. I bought the house that I'm in right now pre-COVID, right? And me and my wife, we're talking about right before COVID. And at that point, this is what, 8 years ago, and almost a decade ago, I was doing okay, but we had recently moved. I had changed positions. I was at the career that I was at for a long period of time and ended up doing really well at it. But at that time, signing my name on a 30-year mortgage, in my early 20s I was like, dude, I'm going to send myself to the grave here. This is crazy. I'm going to go into debt. I was so nervous about it, right? As soon as COVID hit and then recovered, every time I looked at my house, I thought, oh my God, man, why didn't we buy something bigger? We should have invested more. So the market's cyclical. And when COVID was happening, I was like, I knew I shouldn't have done this. We're going to be in debt for the rest of our life. My house is going to be worth nothing. So, it's always hard. You're never going to pick the best time, right? The best time would have been in the middle of COVID, right? You're never going to pick the best time. But I do think there's never a better time than now for long-term investing, wealth accumulation, right? And again, if we're just talking about putting money in a savings account versus putting it into something that is going to accumulate money over time, there's always risk involved with investment. It's almost always the case. But you could look at other, you could look at other stuff, man. You could look at T-bills. Like there's always some place to park your cash that's going to give you money, that's going to make money with your money better than just as like a savings account or under your mattress. So anyway, that was a long rant, but I'm 56, just started this day trading journey 18 months ago. Never too late. Oh yeah, for sure. Market cyclical. There's always be opportunities. Yep. See you tomorrow for sure. Yeah. I hope that helped, Luke. Hope that helped. There you go. Yep. If you want to talk about pure investment. Yep. Not in the past, not in the future. It's right now. Yeah. That's a good way to think about it. Again, it's hard. Yeah. Again, not financial advice, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an idiot, not advice. This is me personally talking about my own idiotic past, which is important to note. But maybe consult with a licensed financial advisor. But again, do your research. This stuff can kind of be simple. What does cash look like? If I sit here, there's inflation, and if I keep it under my bed, what happens in 10 years? What is the risk of putting this into a index fund? What is the risk of putting this into one of the Mag 7? What is my risk putting this into something that's more stable that pays a dividend, or treasury bills, right? There's just always different ways to do this, but I think unfortunately they don't really teach that stuff really clearly in school, and they say save your money, but they don't tell you to do with what to do with it once you're saving it. You leave it in a bank account, and they make money with your money because that's what they're doing with it. So anyway, if you look long term, I mean, yeah, for sure. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Is Zach an idiot? Not true. I don't believe him. Yeah, there we go, everybody. Ralph called me an idiot, guys. It's crazy, man. I thought we were friends on here, Ralph. No. Personal opinion on investing all at once versus a monthly, weekly. No, Ralph says no. Luke, I'm gonna save this one for Discord. We can chat in Discord, man. I'm not gonna have too much really heavy opinion into this because there's so many different ways to do it, and it so heavily relies on you personally, and your financial situation, how old you are, where you're located in the world, whether or not you're going to need the funds. There's so much that goes into it. So I think honestly, I could tell you my personal opinion on kind of how I've structured some stuff. Again, I'm not the expert in any of that, but again, I think that is where it actually can be helpful to talk to somebody who's way better versed than I am, because they're going to sit down with you and talk to you for 2 hours and understand exactly where you're at, where you want to go. You look at all this stuff and create a unique plan. There's some very basic stuff that most of us could be doing if we're just throwing our money under a mattress, I think. And I could be way better than that, right? I've been lucky enough to get around family and friends who go, how much money do you have in a savings account right now? Because I bet it's way too much. You should put it here, right? Not like you're going to make your money overnight, but at least you're going to make a couple percent. You're not just going to let the bank make a couple percent. But again, we're talking long-term stuff, and this is not what I'm doing on here every day. And again, I'm not extremely versed in it, and I think in order for someone to really give you some solid juice, they got to talk with you individually for a while, because it depends, right? If you're 20 years old versus Ralph, 56, there's probably some good stuff you could be doing with your money, but there's probably a different, strategy and approach that you would apply for that. So anyway, guys, this has been awesome. We trailed off. Monthly ETF is definitely good. Yeah. We trailed off a lot. This has been awesome. Remember, guys, like I was just saying, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Trading's risky. Investing's risky. Everything is risky. If you trade, you invest, you put your money anywhere except for under your shoe, maybe even under your shoe, you're probably going to lose all of it. That's the truth. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures and code RDF. We took a quick W in the afternoon here, $150 across, $159.70 across 7 straight to funded sim pros. Hop on the live stream tomorrow, y'all. We got a giveaway rolling, 50K straight to funded, and we have 55% off. Link is in the chat. 55% off code RDF. Man, you guys got good questions. Yeah, I'm hopping off right now, but I'm going to drop one more time right now. Go ahead and copy it. I'll give you guys 60 seconds. Hop in the Discord, man. I run a 100% free trading Discord. We've got somebody asking about over trading and stuff. I'd love to have these conversations, right? Have the conversations in Discord. More than happy to talk to you. Not a VIP feeder program, not a course, none of that stuff. Almost 2,000 members, all free. Would be happy to have you in there. This has been awesome, guys. We're going to be live across platforms tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, and we'll run it. I'll see you guys 9:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.